Good morning. Today is September 3rd, 2025, Wednesday, and I got some news for you. So first of all, TSX went up by 0.2, which is almost at 28,615, which is almost the best level since forever. So the winners in this, as far as sectors are concerned, materials, healthcare, energy, tech, and financial. So one thing I want to mention about tech is in the States, it took a beating, but in Canada, it was one of the best performance sectors. And the worst performing were real estate, consumer discretionary, and consumer staples. So that's kind of a takeaway that we will look at on Saturday, why everything happened precisely. And obviously the TSX climbed, even though there's, tariff issues and trade headwinds, but select stocks did prop up the market. And today's market that I want to focus on is York Region when it comes to real estate. So every day I'll be focusing on 7-day average on each specific area. So average home was sold for about $1 million, which is about less than 2% from the previous week. So it came down in price. And the listing to sales ratio is what I really like to look at, which is at 29%. So it's still a predominantly strong buyer's market. However, comparing to the previous week, which was at a negative 21%. So that was a strong buyer's market. So we're kind of going in the right direction to a balanced market, but we're not there yet. I mean, it's still a balanced market, but still more leaning towards the buyers, stronger than even Toronto. Ask to sell ratio is about 1.035. So that means, someone lists for a house for $1 million, it's going for $1,034. So over asking is still happening, but it's about pricing it right as well, right? But the other factor that I want to mention is listings are down by 10% from the previous week, but listings are up by 31% year over year. So yeah, down by previous week, but overall from compared to last year, it's a lot higher. Now the mortgage rates have not changed since yesterday's numbers. So that means a 5-year fix is still at 4.19 to 4.74 from the major banks. 3 years is around 4.29 to 4.69. So you could still grab a decent deal. But would I recommend going to a fixed mortgage right now? No. I think there's still a lot more space to play on this, and I would say just hang tight on a variable if you have to wait for a good deal. And I want to mention also at Thornton we're giving a promo for purchase only in GTA on detached homes at 4.75%, which is phenomenal. And obviously the next thing is detached homes as well. Second mortgages we're also giving at 8.45%, second mortgages up to 75% loan to value. And the other thing I want to talk about that I mentioned yesterday was the PMI report. So the PMI report came down at 48.3. So that's still in contraction, but the slowest decline since January. So before I continue, PMI is the Purchasing Managers Index, and it surveys manufacturers about orders, production, jobs, and supply chains. And anything above 50 means it's a growth. Anything below 50 means it's a contraction. Obviously 48.3 means it's a contraction, but compared to July, which was at 46.1, it's better. So that's kind of good, but same time now, I don't know if that's a good advocate for a rate cut in September. And obviously the other thing, you probably heard that Mark Carney is in Toronto, and housing and infrastructure is one of his concerns, and they're speaking about it this week in Toronto itself. So, hang tight to see what news comes from that, or, what major changes come from, the meeting with the infrastructure and housing. But other than that, it's going to be a slow Wednesday, I hope, when it comes to the economy. And I'll touch base with you tomorrow at 4 a.m.